Go.
Hey, this is Dr. Rob Wildman, and welcome to the 6th module of the Sport Nutrition Specialist Review course. So I'm just going to get you started, and we'll go through what to expect during this module. It's all about skeletal muscle, and then I'll see you at the end for some question and answer and a wrap-up.
The outline for Module 6 will be all about skeletal muscle. We'll dig into skeletal muscle fundamentals, the anatomy and physiology of skeletal muscle. We'll go deep on bioenergetics of skeletal muscle and talk about energy systems that are unique to skeletal muscle and what happens during exercise. We'll go into detail about macronutrients and how they're metabolized during exercise and in response to training. We'll focus on powerlifting as our performance nutrition spotlight. Plus, we'll go deep on the ISSN position stand, creatine supplementation, and performance. And to close out, we'll review of Module 6. Let's begin by describing the fundamentals of skeletal muscle. There are over 300 pairs of skeletal muscle within the human body, and the anatomy and the physiology of skeletal muscle is truly unique. As we dig in, we see a very organized design for skeletal muscle. In fact, an effective understanding of sport and fitness nutrition begins with the very basics of skeletal muscle, understanding the anatomy, what makes up skeletal muscle, how it functions, and the biochemistry of skeletal muscle. Also, the understanding that different sports will dictate the degree of reliance on different energy systems, and this is largely based on the acute and the extended or protracted demand of training and/or competition. These factors can surely influence diet composition planning, and a good sport nutritionist will understand the basics of skeletal muscle, training, competition, and how best to nourish the functioning of skeletal muscle and the recovery of skeletal muscle. Let's go through some of the basics of skeletal muscle. For a lean individual, such as a lean man, skeletal muscle will account for 40% of body weight or a little bit more. As mentioned earlier, the human body contains greater than 300 pairs of skeletal muscle. The greater the muscle mass, the greater the role it will play in the metabolism of the human body. This can affect how many calories are expended at rest as well as during exercise. In addition, it will impact the ability to store energy from the diet. The amount and activation of muscle is a principal consideration for nutrition planning for athletes and for better fitness for people who exercise. Continuing on with some of the basics of skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle has a very organized design which can be seen through high-powered microscopes. Muscle fibers are classified into two general types, type 1 and type 2. The key differences between the two types of muscle fibers include the order in which they're recruited into activity, the speed at which they can generate force or twitch, the proportion of energy derived from aerobic or anaerobic energy systems, the concentration of mitochondria, myoglobin, glycogen, fat, and capillary support will also help determine differences between type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers. Also, isoforms of key enzymes such as myosin ATPases will vary among the two types of muscle fibers and even subtypes.